Laura. My name is Laura, and today we are going to be doing yet another natural dye experiment. I'm going to be dyeing some white wool today. I'm using Briggs & Little Regal wool in bleached white. Smells like a sheep though, so before we can get started on dyeing, we need to wash the wool. I've mixed on the stove some pH neutral dish soap and a whole bunch of pH neutral water, so that's a pH of 7. I'm going to toss these skeins into that water and let it soak on a low heat for about half an hour until the water becomes murky, a little bit dingy, and all of the oils have leached out of the wool. At that point, it'll be ready to be mordanted. But what, you're asking, are we going to dye with today? Well, this is actually just a kitchen scrap, which is why I'm so excited about it, because I really think that it's something that you can do as well at home. What we're going to be dyeing with today is some onion skins. Just your run-of-the-mill yellow onion skins and just the dry parts. So, as you use your onions, collect the little dry skins as you use them, toss them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer. They're not going to go bad in there. And once you get a nice big basket like this is about 1 3-pound bag worth of the dried parts of onion skins. Once you've got about that much, you can get started. You're going to need a big pot to put your onion skins in and to put them on the stove. I'm going to put my pot on medium, fill it with water, and then add the onion skins. They'll sit there for an hour to an hour and a half at a low simmer. You don't need to boil the water, just a low simmer, and that will leach out all of the color out of the onions. You'll notice after about an hour and a half, the onions will become translucent and most of that bright orange that you know from the skins will have leached out, and the skins will be left a weird translucent kind of yellow. So let's get started on it. So now that I've got my pot on the stove and the temperature is set to medium, I'm just going to add in the onion skins. And now we wait. I'll see you back here in about an hour. Okay, so about a half hour has elapsed now, and it's time for me to rinse the soap out of my wool. I'm going to just rinse it out in the sink, and then I'm going to add it to a new clean pot of water, and I'm going to add some aluminum sulfate and some cream of tartar to the water. That's what I'm using as my mordant for this onion dye. So that's what I'm going to do next. And now that yarn is going to sit in that mordant solution for about an hour, just like that. I'm going to show you now what the onion skins. So now I'm going to show you what the onion skins are looking like. They've come up to a simmer and they are at a low simmer right now, and they are leaching out tons of beautiful colors. So I'm going to bring you over so you can see too. It's like a really nice bright dark orange. It's not going to give us orange, unfortunately. It's going to be more of a yellow because of the alum. It affects the color a little bit and makes it a little more yellow. But if we add a little bit of iron towards the end, we can get a really beautiful dark khaki color. So I'm thinking I might do a dip dye of half the skein in some iron afterbath just to make it, I don't know, two-toned. Green and yellow. I feel like that'll be beautiful together, but we'll see. Okay, so we are just about halfway through with the onion skins right now. So I wanted to do a little test to see what modifiers I wanted to use on the yarn. And look at the variation I got just with my 3 basic modifiers. with the alum powder, it brightens up the regular onion skin color to a very beautiful bright yellow. With a little bit of the wood ash water, it brings out a bit more of a salmony orange. I love these two. And then this is kind of, it looks gray, but really it has a bit of a green to it. I know that iron will make it turn a bit of a, like a khaki green. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna do a little bit of all three, to be honest. I think that it would be pretty interesting to have 3 different colorways out of one plant material. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is predominantly the yellow and the orange with just a little bit of the khaki green thrown in. But I just thought I'd show you my little dye experiment. I do this with all of my dye tests because these dry out and then I can put them in my bullet journal and save the color, which I love doing. Okay friends, it's been a little while now and the yarn is ready to be rinsed out and the onion skins are ready to have the onion skin bits filtered out and put together into a magical dye bath. So I'm gonna start by washing out the yarn. Now I'm going to take my trusty fabric bag, I'm going to put it over this pot here, and I'm going to pour the onion juice into the bag to strain out the onion skins. Okay, I'm going to return the juice that is strained back into the same pot, and then I'm going to add the yarn. Look at this yellow! Look how bright it is! Okay, so I'm going to let that simmer for 45 minutes, not simmer quite, just get really hot for 45 minutes, and then we'll put it into the color modifying afterbaths and let it sit for the rest of the day. Okay, so I've just turned the heat off on my onion skins, the dye bath there. I'm going to pull the yarn out and separate it between these two. Am I doing 2 colors? Or am I going to do 3? I'm going to separate the dye liquid first between these 2 containers. Maybe a 3rd container, and then I'll add the modifiers and then I'll add the yarn. I think that's a good plan. Okay, so to one of the dye baths, I'm going to add a little bit more alum powder to brighten up the yellow. And to the other dye bath, I'm going to add a little bit of iron water. Look how orange it is. So pretty. Okay, so now that is just gonna sit there pretty much for the rest of the day, and we'll see what happens at the end. So here is what the onion dye is looking like with just the 2 modifiers added. So this middle section has only had the pre-mordanting of alum. This section I added a little bit of iron water solution, and this section I added a little bit of baking soda and a little bit of alum powder. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference because it was pre-mordanted with alum, but I'm kind of hoping we'll just get some variation, something. I'm very excited about how dark this side is getting. But we'll see what happens there in 4 to 6 hours. Okay friends, it's the next day now, and my onion skin dye. I decided, I made an executive decision last night to hang up the yellow part because I thought it had gotten dark enough, and I still wanted this iron mordanted section to have a little bit of time to soak. So now it's time to wash out the yarn. I'm going to wash it out, first rinse with water, and then I'm going to wash out the whole skein with wool wash. And I'll show you what it's looking like after that. Just look at it. So beautiful. It's so sunshine golden, and the dark green that's with it. Let me go over and show you. This dark green, it's so woodsy, and look at how fun they are together. I think that skein, even the transition point, is pretty cool. So I'm gonna leave that skein just here to dry, probably for the rest of the day, and then tomorrow I will show you the final results, the final reveal, the overhead shot. Okay, it's time for the final reveal. If you remember, we started with some Briggs & Little bleached white yarn, Regal wool, and look at how it finished. Oh my goodness. It's so amazing. Have you seen anything like this? This is from Onion Skins, people. Look at this beautiful army green, and then we've got this amazing gold. The gold came out so fantastic. I actually have 2 tones of gold in here because one side was dipped in the wood ash solution and one side was dipped in iron, but the entire skein was pre-mordanted in alum. So we've got 3 different colors going. We've got a nice light yellow gold here, kind of a more orangey gold going on down here, and then we've got the green in here. I just love this. Kind of gives me a Green Day Packers vibe, if like the Green Day Packers washed their uniforms with something dark blue, you know, like it got stained a little bit. It's a little bit more neutral, but it's totally beautiful. I love these colors together. They're so fun. I don't know what I would make with it, but it's beautiful, that's for sure. And guess what? It's going up on the shop. So if it's a color that you like, check out www.lastminutelaura.ca, and this one, by the time this video comes out, this yarn will be available for sale on my shop, which is kind of cool. You can have a piece of this art, and the video for it exists, so you'll always know that it was definitely hand dyed with plants, which is kind of cool. It's cool that onion skin, something that would regularly just be a garbage product from food, can become such a beautiful piece of art. So I really hope you liked this video. If you did, leave a like. It helps my channel out, and I do really appreciate it. So leave a like down below and let me know what you think of this yarn in the comments. If you have an opinion about it, share, because I love reading the comments. And hey, don't forget to subscribe. I put out new edited videos like this every single Saturday and Sunday. And if you like live streams, I live stream Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern time until 8:30 a.m. So 7 days a week, you can come here and there's always going to be something new coming out on the channel. But anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!